My friend, welcome to this episode. And for today, I decided to discuss about API Gateway. But as usual, is a food for thought, and I want to be a bit argumentative as my usual. So, what is API is well known. I will not bother you about it. The importance that is having should be well known as well, but sometimes it's overlooked what it means in incident response, and that is a big industry mistake. So the problem with API is you need an API gateway or you'll expose the API endpoint. And if you're fuzzing an API, if you are already landing in an API endpoint, the game is already gone. So it's not smart, first of all. Secondary, most of the microservices are API kind of driven. So the same statement than before is also about microservices itself. You don't want, for example, to have an API straight into a pod. You should use an API gateway. And API gateway let you, for example, to load a Swagger file, and you can have the mapping of each parameter, what is expected, and avoid the fuzzing. If you do a request and is not allowed to do a put or delete, is in the Swagger file. So you are helping yourself. So it's shooting on your own foot not to have an API gateway in first instance. But from an incident response is also underestimated because it's creating a lot of requests. Let's think about a mobile application. If you attack a mobile application, most of the game sometimes is just to, let's think about an Android, reverse an APK, get the token and start to poke an API endpoint. And so it, it's relevant for incident response. You should see that. But for sure, the volume of requests of a mobile app is amazing. But we are in 2021 in a big data kind of approach shouldn't be that the problem. You should have a smart way to consider that. But API is the way how you get information. The graph QL API are in a way a query, a way to query API, and is a query language. And so you are subject to way more trouble than before in somehow. And so it's more powerful but come with a price. And you need to monitor that. If you don't, you are actually having a channel, an important attack vector, attack surface, and is becoming also an attack vector that you are not considering. So how you generally work with an API gateway into a cloud environment, you do have a service that is the API gateway. That surprise, surprise, you need to couple with a CDN in front because it's not part of a service itself most of the time. And let's take AWS. For example, here in this article is explaining how to resolve the gap and how you can couple a CDN in front with a CloudFront. The the others are not any difference. There is for sure an integration and the same capability in Azure. GCP having APG, he just announced the APG X that is way more integrated. Sorry for my face in front of a diagram. And so their offering will integrate also the web application firewall, the identity, and the ladder. I don't know how it's going to work with a hybrid. I'm not aware of that. There are a lot of consideration also if you pay, if somebody is, for example, doing DDoSing that service. Those are other consideration for another day. But this browse around is to show you how much in the conversation of API is important the architecture approach, the security architecture approach. So never expose an edge, get the API gateway, get the automation with Swagger file or whatever solution to know what is entitled and what is not, and use the API gateway to feed your incident response, because that is an important attack surface. But you see that all these building blocks and adding CloudFront to that is also cost. So there are considerations that are sometimes a bit strange, because let's think of the problem of Kong. You deploy your own instance of Kong. You have a problem that you need to scale it. Solution ready to go from a cloud perspective should be well integrated. But because at that point is the value that you are adding is the fact that it's already distributed, is integrated with all various API as well. But it's not something that you can forget in your design. And I see for how important is API, how behind the curve we are. So let's talk. The project of OWASP for API Top 10 is quite recent and somehow got a bit of traction. We had the conversation if API was to be added to the normal top 10. So it's 2021, is everything API. If you don't consider API, you you are doing a big mistake. But you need to also think on how you structure the API gateway even before to design the rest. And don't forget the GraphQL API. You'll see how much change also in pen testing terms. And so for me, industry-wise, we are too behind. I'm delighted to see more scanner, API scanner, more solution thinking, but I don't see much in incident response. I see a lot of not integrated solution and a misunderstood in terms of industry on how integration supposed to be gateway based. So you can't think and structure all this stuff without integrating and make it really easy. If I need to do the application routing on my own, I have also a maintenance problem, an availability problem. And so everything should be quite easy and straightforward. And I was puzzled by some private API going to public API to become private. I'm delighted that finally those time in AWS finished and they let private to private. But we were slow on that. In the meantime, a lot of people didn't modify the design. And so we need to be forward thinker instead of playing the catch up game all the time. And actually, incident response wise is too underestimated. You take the Mitra attack is now split across cloud service provider. Click on each and are the same techniques. And so nothing specific, but each is a different service. So I think we talk too much and we do too little in this space. And that's the message, the key message for this video. And I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, you'll get notified when new content is out. I will do my best to keep this appointment schedule once a week during the weekend, so after work I have the time to think on what I want to say. And if you're curious to know what I think about the industry and which kind of announcement we could have, you find my book on Amazon. For whatever, if you want to contact me, always you can find my website or here on YouTube. Okay? Thanks a lot for your time and your attention. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.